What's up guys, it is Starflorge here, bringing you one of the first Dragon Age 4 theories. Now, as of recording this, I haven't seen any theories. Hopefully by the time I have filmed this and got it out, there probably is at least one or two theories and hopefully a few more. So my aim is that hopefully this will be either exactly the same as some of the theories, kind of similar, or completely different. And all three outcomes would be really cool in terms of theory crafting. Now, before we get into this, I must say a lot of these theories were talked over with and then confirmed, not confirmed, but both accepting that these theories are very possible with one of my good friends, War Mage Ragnar. He is someone who knows a lot about Dragon Age lore. I don't know so much about Dragon Age lore, but I've played all the games and I've done some research. So hopefully with the combination of these two, our theories are pretty solid. Now, the most obvious one is straight off the bat. There are 7 circles, or semicircles as they are, hidden behind the one big circle. And there's some pretty obvious imagery. 5 of them are dark, and 2 of them are golden or lit, as you could say. 5 blights have passed. There are 2 more to go. This is true when you look at the old gods. There have been 5 blights, and there's only 2 dragons left: the Dragon of Mystery and the Dragon of Night. Now, this is either saying that in this next Dragon Age 4, that either we will have one of these dragons or blights happen. We might be in the 6th or 7th blight, and maybe they both happen at the same time. And why would they evidently show that both are still there, both are still to come, or that actually both haven't been dealt with yet? They're still there, which means either they are now active, or they are becoming active, or they are just there and they will eventually happen. So that's one of the most, I think, obvious imagery that we both kind of straight away agreed on. Hopefully that's the case. It could be something slightly different, potentially to do with Titans, but the most obvious reason here is because of the 5 dark ones, and we've had 5 blights. It's probably the most obvious one. Now, the 2 other big things in this picture is obviously this gigantic monster over here that kind of looks like a wolf, and then this dude over here, which is evidently Solas. I think a lot of people might think it was something completely random. I initially thought it was just Solas and a random mage, but on this big picture, you kind of see that it's more lighting. It's pretty clear it's Solas. The wolf looks like a representation of Solas's wolf. Therefore, I was wondering whether he is fighting himself or a manifestation of himself, or even another Elvenaris. I hope I'm saying that right. I might be wrong, but I'm going to say Elvenaris through the rest of this video. So the picture of this wolf is very similar to his previous lupine depictions in all of the murals we've seen, especially this one here. You can even see it's got 3 eyes, very clear to see both 3 eyes, and kind of the wolf's head. However, we don't see any ears. There's a little bit going up here which might be his ear. I'm not exactly sure. However, the rest of the body is very obscure. Very obscure. And yeah, as I said, we don't actually see any lupine ears. As it seems, most of the Elvenaris have animal themes. Solas was the wolf, Mythal was the dragon. There's others. This monster could actually be another one. It could be someone else other than Solas. Maybe one that Solas opposed and despised the most. Which is one theory, but the other one is that potentially this is Solas himself, either fighting literally himself or fighting a manifestation of himself. So we can base it down to the monster is either another Elvenaris in their own monstrous animal form, or it is Solas's wolf form there to represent the nasty, supremacistic, mass murdering part of him, with his whole plan, to kind of end the world, have the world reset, as we saw in Trespasser, while his human form might be representing like his kinder side, the one to stop himself and actually not completely destroy the world, and sees value in the current world rather than going on to it. From this, Warmage Ragnar also pointed out that he redeemed Solas at the end of Trespasser, and with this, there was the quote that the Inquisitor says that I will prove that this world is worth preserving, and Solas over here comes back and says, I would relish the chance to be proven wrong again, my friend. Now, he's basically saying that he wants you to come after him. If you are saying to Solas that, I'm coming to stop you because you hated Solas, he says, I know, and then cuts off your hand to literally save you anyway, even though he knows you're going to come and kill him. And this supports both assessments for the fact that he wants to at least try to be stopped or literally physically stopped. He wants something to deter him because either his pride is too strong and his will really wants to stop what he has carried out for the millennia that he's been alive. A really interesting theory right there, but Solas evidently wanted us to come and stop him, and maybe this is kind of him realizing it. This is him really wanting to stop it, but this is himself really wanting to destroy the world. That could be the two different parts. Now, the big wolf is very dark and evidently have red eyes. Now, this could be one of two things. It could be very suggestive of the Blight. The Blight has very dark and red imagery throughout all of the games. So this could be a manifestation of Solas within the form of the Blight, or maybe the Blight has got to him. Maybe it's a part of him that is the Blight and he is separating himself. But there's a big chance that there has to do with the Blight coming along, which also indicates why they're hinting towards there's two more Blights. Or it could be that the actual Blight, coming along with the Blight, is potentially the Dragon of the Night. Why would it be so dark? The whole wolf is dark. There is absolutely everything about him is dark. However, the red eyes kind of allude to the fact that this might be to do with the Blight. And then you're wondering, why is Solas here fighting what looks like himself, but very Blightish, Seems a bit confusing. And also, some people might see, why is this Solas? You can kind of see that he's evidently bold, but also because he's got this pelt that marks him visually everywhere. He's got this pelt absolutely everywhere, and he's wearing it here. So it's quite clearly Solas, and as I said, this could either be him or something like him. Now, the next and last thing that we can quickly get from this is the idol. Now, the idol is very evidently from Dragon Age 2. It's very confusing because it's so evidently the one from Dragon Age 2. However, upon thinking about it more, I believe it was Meredith, right here. She took the idol, turned it into a sword, and then it all shattered when she fought Hawke that you were playing. And then she got turned into a statue, though, after that. So that might have something to do with it. So basically, this idol doesn't really exist, apparently. According to Dragon Age 2, this idol doesn't exist. From the fact that we know this is ahead of time because we've got the Blight at the stage it is, and he was referring to ourselves in the trailer. So this is evidently ahead of Dragon Age 2, but Dragon Age 2 imagery is right there. So I'm not sure whether this could potentially be to remind us of where it was found, because it was to do with the Deep Roads, and they have large connections to the Blight, etc., etc. Or it could be a recreation. A very far out theory is that this is Meredith herself. She had this big pointy thing on her head. She does again, although it's identical to the idol in Dragon Age 2. However, in this, as we know, Meredith got turned into stone, and the imagery in this depicts this idol as human size. It is the same size as Solas. Now, that could just be a coincidence, or it could not be. It could be intentional that the idol is now as big as Solas, because potentially it is Meredith herself, or some form of new idol. It's very confusing, the idol, why it's there. Hopefully we'll get more in time. And then to do with this idol, why is it here? Warmage Ragnar pointed out that he highly doubts Solas is ever going to use the idol. He was furious when the Grey Wardens treated the Blight as something that should be controlled, and he basically hates the Blight. He hates everything about Red Lyrium, etc., etc., and considering his reasons for apparently, allegedly sealing away the other Evnaris, because they potentially would have destroyed the world. He kind of, it seems basically that he's hinting that he disapproves any form of use of the Blight. Therefore, it's kind of obvious Solas wouldn't use it, so it's why is it here? That's a big question moving forward. But to summarize, guys, the idol, Dragon Age 2, evidently don't really know what it's about. The circles is evidently alluding to the Blight, because there's 7 dragons and there's 2 left, and 5 we have gone through. This is evidently Solas. This is quite nearly evidently Solas's wolf. However, Solas is here, so this has to be either him fighting himself or fighting some manifestation of himself, or even another Evanaris, because it could just be someone completely different. And that is the basic theory. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. In the comments below, tell me what you think of this theory, how me and Warmage Ragnar have got along creating a quick theory off of what we know so far. Tell me whether you agree, whether you disagree, what are your own theories, and hopefully at this point some other people have theories similar to this or maybe completely different. We will find out soon. But anyway guys, as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you're having a good day, week, a month, and I will see you next time.